Talk now to Ulrich Brückner, Professor of European Studies at Stanford University in Berlin. Professor, welcome. Good to have your company. The keynote speakers from China, Wang Yi, and the Vice President in the United States have both spoken to the Munich Security Conference. What do you make of what you've heard so far from the conference?
Well, a conference like this can be used for different purposes. On the one hand, it is to address everything that is considered to be a global threat and to hear what the different parties or the different interests involved have to say about it. Or you can use it as a stage to present unity of those who are on the same ground when it comes to presenting Russia as the number one global threat and the enemy and the elephant in the room. So the absence of Russia and also the absence of the Alternative für Deutschland domestically, they are not invited to the conference, shows that the organizers of the Munich Security Conference want to send a strong signal of unity. And I think this is the main purpose, despite the fact that there are so many different roundtables and discussions going on about everything else but the conflict in Ukraine.
The diplomatic relationship between China and the West is at best strained at the moment. The balloon incident obviously exacerbating the tensions. Do you expect a reboot of China's relationship with the West at the Munich Security Conference, or at least the start of a reboot?
Well, to be honest, it really surprised me how big this balloon story became in the relations, not only between the two countries involved, but also as a major discussion, what's behind it and how to respond to it. Because as it has been said in the speech, there have been so many reported incidents of a similar kind, and suddenly we pretend that things like that never happened and it undermines national security. This is not the point. So it's certainly used as a symbolic act to push China to take a position, because by far China has the biggest leverage and influence on Russia to begin something that could end with a ceasefire and maybe a diplomatic solution to this.
The Munich Security Conference is seen perhaps as a key test of the West's resolve to fight out a grinding, prolonged and expensive war. Few commentators seem to expect early peace negotiations. I mean, do you see or sense any sign for optimism in Munich?
Well, first of all, this is an attack of Russia on Ukrainian soil, and it attacked an innocent country. So if someone can end the war, then it's Russia stopping it. What the West can do is to stand united and to find supporters around the world to buy the narrative of the West that this is not a territorial conflict or something that has been triggered by a NATO threat to Russia. And if it's possible to find a common denominator, it increases the price for Russia to continue with a war like this. If it's enough to have a 3-day conference to find a common ground and to impress Russia by how united the world sees the conflict, this remains to be seen, but at least it's important to hear what the different perceptions are. It's certainly not just everyone follows the Western narrative.
Professor, good to see you. Thanks for coming on the program. Thanks for your time. I'm Professor Ulrich Brückner from Stanford University in Berlin.